Meghan Markle has always been a magnet for headlines, but this one, oh, this one, hits on a whole different level. Forget the designer clothes, the Netflix deals, the canceled projects, and the endless Hollywood chatter. This isn't about Meghan pushing another lifestyle brand or a PR stunt gone wrong. No, this time it's deeply personal. Her own father, Thomas Markle, has stepped forward and dropped a revelation so intimate, so raw, that it shakes the very foundation of her carefully polished image. He's not just whispering rumors, he's cutting straight to the heart of her biggest secret, her real age. And when a father, the man who raised her, says it, that's not gossip. That's a direct strike at the empire Meghan has spent years building out of perception, branding, and curated storytelling. Think about it. For years, Thomas Markle has been hovering on the sidelines of Meghan's royal saga, the ghost at the edges. Left out of her wedding, ignored in her interviews, painted as the problem parent. He's long been cast as the villain in her story, but now he's done being silent. He's furious at being labeled the bad guy while Meghan cashes in on victimhood narratives. He's had enough, and his words have reporters salivating, tabloids on fire, and Meghan's PR team in meltdown. His claim that Meghan has not been honest about her age, and that the official numbers don't add up. For anyone else, age might just be a trivial detail. Who cares, right? A birthday is just a birthday. But for Meghan, it's not trivial at all. It's everything. Her brand, her persona, her entire narrative rests on timeless beauty, youthful energy, and the idea of being this relatable Hollywood royal hybrid who shook up the monarchy with fresh modernity. If that story cracks, even a little, the whole image risks collapsing. Thomas isn't vague either. He insists Meghan has been shaving off years for as long as he can remember. He says he's seen the documents, he remembers the family moments, and the timelines just don't match up. He even recalls her snapping at him whenever he casually brought up her real age in front of others, like it was some top-secret classified information. Imagine being so guarded about your own birth year that even family had to tiptoe around it. That's not just vanity, that's calculation. And let's be real, Hollywood is absolutely brutal when it comes to age. Casting directors don't care about talent, they care about numbers. Women are categorized the moment they hit certain milestones. In your 20s, you're the ingenue, the fresh face, the lead role. Hit your 30s, suddenly you're someone's quirky best friend, or worse, someone's mom. Thomas suggests Meghan clocked this harsh reality early on and made a decision. Adjust the numbers, adjust the narrative. For auditions, lop off a few years. For interviews, paint herself as the late bloomer hustling in her 20s, even if the calendar told a different story. Maybe all of this would have stayed in the realm of harmless Hollywood smoke and mirrors, just another actress tweaking her age. But then Meghan's life collided with royalty. Suddenly the scrutiny multiplied. Timelines mattered. Background checks were rigorous. Every detail, down to birth certificates, was examined. Meghan entered royal life presenting herself as a fresh face in her mid-30s when she married Prince Harry. But if Thomas's hints are true, she may have been older than the fairy tale story suggested. And that one discrepancy puts the whole narrative in question. Why does this matter so much? Because perception is Meghan's greatest asset. She doesn't have decades of blockbuster roles or a royal bloodline to fall back on. What she has is an image, a narrative sculpted around youth, modernity, and authenticity. And her father is now saying that image was built on a lie. The reaction has been immediate and vicious. Reporters are pulling out dusty yearbooks. Old photos are being dug up and timelines repieced. Social media sleuths are lining up her old interviews, pointing out contradictions in the way she's spoken about her past. Hashtags mocking her supposed Forever 39 persona are trending worldwide, and the more Meghan's team pushes back, the harder the internet bites back. Inside Montecito, insiders say Meghan is in full-blown meltdown. Staff are walking on eggshells. PR strategists are running overtime. Harry? Sources whisper he's frustrated, dragged once again into another crisis that threatens to derail everything. Because here's the cold, brutal truth. When your entire livelihood depends on people buying into your brand, even something as small as a birthday can snowball into disaster once the narrative spins out of your control. And Meghan, queen of control, is suddenly watching it slip straight through her fingers. Thomas Markle isn't mincing words anymore. He talks about the boxes of photographs, the school records, the birth certificates, all of it painting a story different from the one Meghan has polished for the cameras. He even called them receipts, proof of the reality Meghan has long tried to erase. According to him, even the palace knew the truth when the royal wedding came around. They knew far more about Meghan's history than the public, but they kept quiet, not wanting to ignite another storm. That silence, he argues, gave Meghan the freedom to keep using her age as a weapon, a tool to shape her narrative rather than just a fact of life. And this revelation speculation, it's landed like an earthquake, not just in gossip columns, but in Hollywood and publishing circles that once treated Meghan as untouchable. Executives are suddenly second-guessing their investments. If her brand has cracks this deep, how stable are the projects tied to her? For big studios and publishers, authenticity isn't just about morals. It's about market value. Nobody wants to pour millions into a star who could crumble the moment scrutiny gets intense. The irony, though, the irony stings the most. Meghan has spent years preaching authenticity. She built her empire around the idea of living her truth. She sold herself as the brave outsider who speaks when others stay silent. And now, her father is saying even something as basic as a birthday has been rewritten to fit her ambitions. To her critics, this feels like the smoking gun, proof that her truth has always been strategy. Inside Buckingham Palace, there's no official comment, but the silence itself is deafening. The royals live by their timeless motto, never complain, never explain. Meghan and Harry, they've done the opposite. Their lives have become one endless cycle of explanations, interviews, and tell-all narratives. And now, with this age scandal blowing up, the contrast couldn't be starker. Every headline about Meghan's real age, every viral post comparing old photos makes her look smaller and more desperate, while the palace stands tall, dignified, and unbothered. It's brutal, but effective. Their silence has become the sharpest weapon. And where does that leave Harry? Stuck in a nightmare. Sources close to the couple say he's fuming, at Thomas for talking, at Meghan for landing them here, and at himself for being entangled in yet another credibility crisis. For years, he stood behind Meghan's every word. He repeated her narratives in books, in documentaries, in explosive interviews. He cut off nearly everyone in his own family who contradicted her. But now, the public is asking, if Meghan lied about something as basic as her age, did Harry know? Was he an innocent victim in this illusion, or was he a partner in the performance? Either answer is humiliating. In Montecito, insiders say Meghan is spiraling. She's pacing the halls, slamming phones, snapping at staff, demanding solutions that simply don't exist. Her PR team is scrambling. Should they deny? Should they deflect? Should they ignore? But every strategy backfires. Denying makes the whispers louder. Deflecting just draws attention to inconsistencies. Ignoring it leaves Thomas's voice uncontested. It's a no-win situation, and Meghan knows it. Meanwhile, the press is having a field day. British tabloids are gleefully building timelines. American gossip shows are lining up Markle relatives for interviews. TikTok is flooded with side-by-side comparisons of Meghan's early career photos, dissecting her features, her hairstyles, her words. What used to be a rumor is now being treated like fact because Thomas Markle, her father, put his name to it. He's not an anonymous source or a distant acquaintance. He's her dad. And that gives his words weight her PR machine can't easily erase. Even Meghan's personal relationships are being dragged into the mess. Jessica Mulroney, once Meghan's closest ally, isn't stepping up to defend her. Insiders whisper that Jessica is quietly amused, even smug, telling friends she always suspected Meghan's obsession with youth would backfire. That silence, that refusal to back her up speaks volumes. If your best friend won't defend you, what does that say? To the public it screams, where there's smoke, there's fire. And then there's Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister. Oh, she's loving every second of this. She's been calling Meghan manipulative for years, warning that her carefully crafted stories were illusions. Now, with Thomas backing her up, Samantha suddenly doesn't look like the bitter outsider anymore. She looks like the sister who was telling the truth all along. In the ruthless court of public opinion, that shift is devastating. Hollywood isn't blind to any of this either. Agents and producers are watching closely, and many are quietly pulling back. Reputation in that world is fragile currency. Age itself isn't the crime. Plenty of actresses thrive in their 40s and 50s, but lying? That's different. No one wants to be caught propping up a celebrity accused of selling deception. A lifestyle brand lives and dies on trust, and Meghan's trust is evaporating fast. And the collapse? It's not just personal, it's financial. Meghan's empire, her jam jars, her podcasts, her documentaries, her speaking tours, they all depend on one thing: people believing in her story. If the foundation cracks, the whole structure starts to shake, and right now, Thomas Markle is the one rattling the walls. Years of being silenced, painted as the villain, ignored by his daughter, Thomas suddenly finds himself with the upper hand. He knows Meghan can't erase their shared past. He knows the world is eager for dirt. And he knows, oh, he knows, that his voice carries the power to break through Meghan's glossy PR armor. For him, this isn't just about revenge, it's about finally being heard. The chaos around Meghan's age scandal has turned into a global spectacle. Tabloids, television panels, gossip blogs, podcasts, highbrow commentators, they're all dissecting it. What started as whispers is now dominating front-page headlines, fueled by Thomas Markle's insistence that he has the paperwork and the memories to prove Meghan's timeline doesn't add up. And the more the story spreads, the more savage the fallout becomes. Social media, of course, has turned it into a frenzy. Old yearbook photos are resurfacing, with users zooming in on hairstyles and fashion, cross-checking with Meghan's claimed age. Threads accuse her of scrubbing Hollywood database profiles to adjust her birth year. TikTok creators rack up millions of views comparing her old interviews to the new revelations, pointing out contradictions with gleeful precision. The hashtag Meghan Real Age is climbing daily, memes mocking her Forever 39 image going viral. And what's striking is just how much joy people are taking in her discomfort. It's not just curiosity, it's schadenfreude. People love when someone who preaches authenticity gets exposed as less than authentic. Inside the industry, the whispers are even louder. Casting directors recall how Meghan always dodged questions about age, keeping things vague, deflecting whenever the subject came up. Former colleagues now share stories about her presenting herself as younger during auditions. In Hollywood, that's common, but in royal life, fatal. Even agents admit privately. Meghan's obsession with youth was noticeable long before Harry came into the picture. To them, Thomas's revelations aren't shocking. They're confirmation of what many suspected. And through it all, the royal family just keeps gliding forward. King Charles shakes hands at public events, Queen Camilla by his side. William and Kate smile at polished engagements. No statements, no drama. Every glossy photograph of them looking calm and poised is a dagger in Meghan's side. The message is clear. One family stands on centuries of tradition. The other is unraveling under the weight of its own shifting narratives.